Okay, so this video might be a little weird because the website that I'm using to watch somehow had me watch episode 2 before episode 1, thinking it was episode 1. So there's some interesting commentary that's going to happen in episode 2 because I think I'm watching episode 1. um, and now that I'm watching episode 1 after episode 2, things might be a little weird here as well. It is what it is. What can you do? So yeah, now we're going to get into the actual first episode of Dungeon Meshi, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. I guess the fact that I was able to follow along with episode 2, which I thought was episode 1, is a testament to the level of prior knowledge that I came in with without necessarily realizing it. I don't know. We'll see. What? See, this episode intro is actually more confusing than the last one, which is to say, the next one. Yeah. Can't wait to get to episode 3. This is. I'm going to be going back and forth, I feel like, a lot. Oh, they did mention a red dragon in episode 2, didn't they? I can't help but feel as though y'all seem to be doing nothing. Is this a dragon? Something about its form just doesn't feel dragon-like to me. I don't know. Dude, are you paying attention? Oh, somebody really wasn't paying attention. She's probably fine, right? Oh, she just ported them all away. Or at least him. Okay, no, it was some, if not most, or all of them. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not going to go over well, I feel. Yeah, just like that, you're going to just... Okay. I mean, from the way he was inner monologuing, I don't think y'all had too much inventory to begin with, no? More bad news! Oh. That explains why I didn't recognize those two. Feels bad, man. That doesn't sound worth it. He didn't even have to vocalize what he was thinking. Chuck was just like, no, we're not doing that. Yeah, that was... The importance of eating well. That's a horrible plan. Nope. It's nope, sounds terrible. Oh. Oh. Okay. I think I am intense. Suddenly intense. Um okay, with this sort of prefacing now that I'm getting in this initial episode, I am now starting to understand Marcial's actions in episode 2 better. Why she seems so determined and driven to prove her worth and value to the group. Ugh. She's got a point. Oh yeah, that's probably fine. Whack! Why do they keep letting noobs down here? Uh, she's throwing a tantrum! At least he has a reason to believe what he's saying. At least he's not like, yeah, let's eat it. It'll probably be fine. He's like, no, it actually, this book I have says that this is not only edible, but it's a very common food item in meals made down in the dungeon. So like there is, I think that the reason and logic we've seen from Laos has not always been the most sound, but at least there is a reason and logic to seemingly to a lot of what he says. What are you doing? Wow. Stab. It's easier than a crayfish, actually. He's been wanting an excuse to do this for a while. He's a psychopath. Psychopath. I like how, and I like how there was no like Japanese word for that. That was like very obviously an English loan word. Psychopath. Oh dear. No, it doesn't. Marcial's just not into this at all. Are you sure? And yeah, that's yeah, expected. So Senshi wasn't part of their group. Interesting. Again, since this actually not again, first second episode thing is really throwing me off. Um so I have basic familiarity with the characters because I spend time on Tumblr, and Tumblr is all about this series. Both the anime and the manga. And I've also watched episode 2, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. But in terms of like the actual story, the actual setting, and a lot of the ways that this world and this story actually plays out, I'm not like overly familiar. All plants are from a graveyard. There are dead people everywhere. Ew. Oh dear. Oh, so all of her spells are verbal. Saved. Ew. What organs? I call BS. You get slimed. I can see why they invited him to the group. A kindred spirit. Did he say has the dungeon been around that long? The lore and what the available information and lore that's being not only presented to us but also that is seemingly not super well established to even the characters in universe is interesting. Also, I like how they just gave the finished dish that Senshi made just that extra bit of animation flair. Ooh, anime food. She doesn't want to buy it. She's like, surely not. Surely they're crazy. There's no way. Yeah, I'd have a hard time too. I feel like I'm gonna be relating to Marcial a lot this season, this series. What? Oh, don't tell her. You what the fuck? You find it wherever it stank. There's no way that's the literal translation. Somebody just had a good time with that localization. There's no way. Means seeker in Dwarven. Picklock? Lockpick. Come on. What is this? What is this thing he's doing? Okay. Giving them hope. Yeah, why did he want to join? I said a few minutes ago, like, oh, never mind. Ooh, Dwagon steak, Dwagon hamburger. Shabu The thought crossed everyone's minds, but no one said anything. Okay, and now we're in the biome where we started episode 2. That makes more sense. And we're getting a little bit of explanation as to the layout, I guess it seems. Curse? What? Gotta rest when you need to, gotta eat when you need to. Otters. She is, even though she admitted it tasted good earlier, she's still reluctant to eat it if she doesn't have to. uh, she doesn't want to eat monsters until the point where she's just like, well, I've, I'm resigned. I've got to. How? You're that type. Like I said though, I'm kind of with her. When it comes to like quote unquote normal food, I'm not a picky eater, but I think if I were in her position, I'd be a bit prissy as well. I'm sorry, did he say dire ducks? I gotta see. Please show me what a dire duck looks like. Spare me the science lesson, Louse. I mean, semantics. I feel like some of the commentary that I provide in the second episode from when I thought it was the first episode is still relevant. You'll see that in the second episode, I talk a decent amount about how we're not really presented with the characters. Is there a problem? Oh dear. we're not really presented with the characters like starting from zero. Like they already have established personalities and relationships and such with each other. Um, uh-oh. What happened to the corpse retriever thing? That's totally a dead body. Um, and while we got a bit more premising with the beginning of this episode and what happened with their adventuring party in the lower levels against the Red Dragon, I still feel like we're getting a bit of like I still feel like Laos, Chilchuk, and Marcial all have all have some pretty established characterization even at the outset of the series. And if you want to know what I think about that, you'll hear more of it in the next episode. Rice. I upset her again. uh I'm not sure if I've seen that Martial face as a reaction image online or if I've seen other ones, but not that one specifically. But regardless, the point stands that I feel like Martial's facial expressions, just generally speaking, probably make for great reaction images. This is really fun. Senchi's little cooking lessons are really fun. Fruit tart? Don't eat that. Okay. You didn't use this thing, did you? No, I didn't. But if I did, it would have been better. Yeah, what I was saying was I really like Senchi's little cooking lessons where he's really just like he's like talking about what he's doing and why, and it's just like it feels like it's legitimately out of a cooking show. um, and they don't skimp on the animation for when he's doing the little cooking bits. Like it would have been um it would have been really easy for them to like skimp on the animation by doing something like, for instance, like as he's going through the steps of what he's doing, instead of like actually animating it and animating it well, they could legitimately just show like a screenshot and have like a screenshot for each of the steps that he's describing. Um, but they don't. They yeah, maybe don't. Oh my god, okay, they're just leaving it like that. Um, but they don't skimp out. They do animate it, and they animate it well, at least as well as the rest of the show, which is cool not just from like a visual perspective, but also like in a sense narratively. Like the point of this show is basically, well, I don't know about the point, but like a key theme of the show is the importance of food, right? The importance of taking care of yourself and highlighting some of the, I guess you could call it some of the more like pedestrian aspects of adventuring and just like physical labor in general, I guess you could say. Um, and so narratively, I guess you could say it makes sense that they give the same amount of care in animation to the food, the boring thing, the necessary boring part of adventuring and existing as they do to the actual adventuring stuff. I think that's really cool. And now, hopefully, going forward, I'll be watching the episodes in the actual right, proper order. So yeah, again, I already watched episode 2. Some of my commentary might seem a little confused in that video because I thought it was the first episode when it's not. But some things make a bit more sense now, and other things. So some things make a little bit more sense now, but also I think that for the most part, what I got out of episode 2 is is roughly the same as what I would have gotten out of it if I even if I had watched it as properly episode 2. So that's good. That's good. I don't feel like I missed out on too much. So yeah, hopefully the hopefully all the confusion aside, there's still some interesting commentary that's not going to be too redundant between this video, this episode, and the next. And then we will get into episode 3, see some new stuff, and hopefully have more new cool things to talk about because I thus far really like the show, think it's really neat, and think that it has lived up to the kind of hype and reputation that I was expecting from what I had seen of it on social media. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and until I see you in the next one, take care. Bye-bye.